Hello and welcome to PocketGamer.biz with me, John Jordan. So in this video today we're just looking at the new subscription iPhone game service called GameClub. So GameClub is kind of interesting. It's come out just a few weeks, or actually a month after the Apple Arcade subscription service came out. So Apple Arcade, very kind of high-end, brand new games coming out, $5 a month. GameClub, also $5 a month, also premium games with no ads or anything like that in, but very different in kind of scope. So very much about retro games. So all these are games that have already been released, iPhone games that have already been released, and ones that for various reasons over the years weren't maintained. So I guess the big one was as iPhone games went to 64-bit, a whole bunch of indie developers had these old games that they couldn't really be bothered. It wasn't really financially viable for them to spend the time upgrading the code. Also, obviously, kind of Retina resolution graphics is another big thing. Do you want to totally remake all your graphics for a game that's not selling any copies? No. And particularly, obviously, as free-to-play came in, a lot of these games, obviously, they weren't free-to-play, so they didn't really get any look in. They became legacy games. So what GameClub is doing, which is pretty interesting, is to kind of resurrect these games, and some of them, wouldn't say I know all of them. I think it's launched with 100 games, with more coming every week. But some of them are kind of classics of the early iPhone era before free-to-play came in. So I guess these were released in like 2010, 2011, 2012, that kind of time frame. At least they're the ones I remember. I'm sure there's some newer ones as well. Let's just have a quick look, see what we got. So Hook Champ, that was pretty famous at the time. So if you want to go in and play them, you go in. And it kind of gives you, it's a bit like an app store within an app store. Don't quite know how they get around the app store rules for that, but it tells you, a bit of stuff, and there's a bit of words and some screenshots, and there's quite a lot of writing that's been done around these games. So obviously it's kind of a kind of labour of love. So we have these kind of related stories here. So some kind of tips and tricks and a history here, and then if you like that one. Yeah, Super Quick Cook and other kind of similar types of kind of games. So, Hook Champ, Super Crate Box. I mean, originally a PC game, but I guess probably I don't know. Have we all played Super Crate Box? I mean, even I have. This is one I really liked, Mini Squadron. So back in the day, I think I even reviewed Mini Squadron for Pocket Gamer, and some kind of newer ones here. Ones I don't know. Past the Luma, Mage Gauntlet. This is. You can see the type of game tend to be a bit kind of, or a whole bunch of them tend to be these kind of pixel art, 8-bit kind of inspired things. Some of them a bit more serious. I remember this one, High Blast Smokey. That was really, really big at the time. Whenever that was, it's going to tell us when it came out. But this was quite a big deal. Fox versus Duck. I played that one as well. Yeah. So very simple kind of touch game. Obviously the point of this is, some games you may remember if you're old like me. If you're not so old like me, you might not know any of these games, but the whole point is they've kind of been created, so curated as a curated list, so they should be pretty enjoyable. And I guess for $5 a month, it should say you get the first month for free. You can cancel at any time, so it is kind of a fairly kind of risk-free sort of scenario. Another one here, Plunder Land. That was again pretty famous at the time. I played quite a lot of Plunder Land actually, as I remember. I wonder if I reviewed that one as well. Can't remember. What else we got? See if anything else. Chopper 2. Yeah, that was a really good one. I guess some of these ones now, like Chopper 2 at the time, was pretty cool. Graphics were pretty cool. I mean, now might be seen as a little bit. Not necessarily old-fashioned, but these were games made, at their time, before mobile. Often these were made actually by very small teams. So teams of, I think Mini Squadron was just one guy really. Plunder Land was a few people. These weren't big teams making these games. So very different sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how GameClub goes on. So yeah, we've got the games there. Then we've got this kind of editorial kind of context, which is a bit app store, isn't it? A bit curated, but I guess it's maybe the people who are like this are gonna be into finding out why these games are made and a bit of history of them, so that kind of makes sense. It's got a nice little kind of gamified thing, so if I do more things I do, if I play 3 different games, I get the little badge there. profile. So this is kind of interesting. So I've not subscribed to it, and if you do, you kind of set up an email and password, all that sort of stuff, push notifications, and there's quite a lot of these kind of social stuff on it as well. One nice thing is that if you bought any of these games previously, and you're using the same Apple account, obviously, you can download them for free again. So not so useful if you haven't played a lot of iPhone games back in the past, but for someone like me who's probably forgotten the ones that the ones that I did buy, that's quite a nice touch. Let's try if I can get Mini Squadron. So how it works is you basically go into this screen and then you go and it takes you to the App Store, and then let's see if I can get it. So interestingly, it says this game does have in-app purchases, which I didn't think they did actually, but there's a bundle as well. I don't quite know why you want a bundle, but let's just wait for this to download. So it's not going to let me do it, I don't think, until I do my subscription. And I have already bought this game, but I've not bought it on this account, I don't think. So let's see how this works. So actually, I'm not going to bother going through that because I'd have to go into a different account. So it's a bit tedious, but anyway, I'm sure it does work. But let's just close that out. But yeah, you kind of see how the flow happens. So there we go. That is GameClub. So I guess a slightly smaller audience of kind of enthusiasts than Apple Arcade, but probably a more passionate group of people. And obviously, I guess if you're really into iPhone games, £10 a month isn't an enormous sum of money to get lots of free games, particularly if you don't like free-to-play stuff. I guess if you're playing other platforms as well, then an extra £10 or $10 a month may be something to think a bit more seriously about. But anyway, I think they're doing a good job. It's nice that they are passionate about this sort of stuff, and I guess it is good for some of these indie developers who have just never got around to updating their games. And there were some pretty good games out there, so hopefully over time we might see some more games kind of coming in to the Game Club. Thanks for watching the video. If you've got any comments, please put them in the comments box, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.